Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Tasman's Foundry Virtual Tabletop version 12 from the ground up. And in our last episode, we went over, what was it called? Argon's Combat HUD, I believe it was called, and also the Syrious little tools, something like that. In this episode, we're gonna go over, yes, some more mods, because look at all these ones we still have. What was it called? Serious small additions. Oh, I was so close. And then Argons. I'm pretty sure it's Argon Combat HUD. Oh, not Argons. Argon. Okay. Anyway, in this episode, we are going to go over one of our favorite modders, Monk. uh, Makes awesome mods, and I use quite a few of them. We're gonna actually do Monk's Toolbar, or Tokenbar, sorry. And just so you know, I recorded this entire thing just a few minutes ago and couldn't get part of it to work. And as soon as I stopped recording, I figured it out instantly. And I was like, you know what? I spent so much time on that. I'm just going to re-record. So we're going to go ahead and enable Monk's Toolbar, Tokenbar. I'm going to be so tongue-tied. I'm sorry. So if we come in here, basically right here and now, of course, it's going to work properly. Let me just tell you what was going on before. So we have our party token here. If we don't have people in the party token, okay, now it's not even working that way. Actually, I don't think it has anything to do with the party token. What I was reading is if the players' actors are on the sheet or on the actual canvas, it will actually show them in this. So if we got rid of Kursk here, you'll see now it turned purple, and that's because one of the settings I have saying show players even if they're not on there, because we went through all the settings and everything else. So one thing I really want to stress, especially like with this one, we're not going to go into every little aspect of this mod. We're just going to kind of focus more on the things that I use it for and like it for. And then we will, hopefully you will decide, hey, I really like that. I want to look into it further. I'm going to go look at the wiki. I'm going to do, more investigations on my own. But if a token is already on the sheet and it's owned by a player, it will actually show up in here automatically. So who did I take out? I took out the Paladin. Where's the Paladin? Kursk. So what I want to show you, so now you can see it's not purple anymore because he's back in the thing. What was happening in the last episode was I was not getting any of this. I had everything configured, and for the life of me, I could not figure out why it wasn't populating with any characters at all. And when I finished recording, all I did was move it, and all of a sudden they appeared. So I guess that forces a refresh. Hitting refresh F5 on the keyboard didn't do it or anything like that. So we'll pretend that, we'll come back to these in just a minute. So let's go in and we're going to set up some things that I did. I did reset some of the things that I did so that we can actually go over them again. But hopefully this time it'll be a lot more smooth. So anyway, we're going to come in here, go under here to Monk's Toolbar. There are 47 options. We don't even go through even close to those. So reset position, when you reset the position, basically if I hit that, I believe it puts it right here. So if I do that, you can see it puts it right there at the end of the token or the hotbar. I kind of like it not there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this very well now. Let's do this. Move it down here. There we go. I like it roughly, right here or right here. Usually because this might go larger depending on how many people I have. So usually I'll put it right around here. And the reason I actually put it up a little higher than that is if I want to add, or like if I click here and have a macro, let's just do a chat macro here and just say hello, or I don't even care what it is really. I can actually still go delete the macro if I need to. Um, if I need to edit it, I have to basically come back in. I'm going to just delete it because I don't need that. So usually I set it up here just so I can see if, you know, I need to delete a macro or whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and look at edit stats first. So these are, I guess I could have done that a lot. I'm so smart. So these are right here. You can see that, you know, we have the AC of the player and we have the passive perception, which are these values right here. We can actually access anything we want pretty much. You know, the whole character sheet basically, or the role data is available to you. So if we want, we can change the color of it. So let's say we want a shield to, I don't know, be kind of a tilly blue color, something like that. Let's go for the purity 255 full what is it, green and blue. And then if we come here and perception, maybe have that kind of be a purpley color, I guess. You know, come up here, go ahead and go for purity here. I guess we're going with magenta. And then if we want to add other ones, and this is where some other mods that we've gone over actually come in really handy. For example, let's say we want to do health. Sometimes you can get some of the stuff to show up here by typing A, because we want attributes, right? If you know it, you're great. If you don't know it, well, it's not going to be quite as easy. So we have that Koboldworks data viewer, I think. So if we come in here, and I think Merrick is the best one because it's using the tiny sheets right now. But if we come in here and we have this data guy right here, we click on it, we can actually drill down and look at all the different things that we can actually view or that we can actually set. So for example, I know that under attributes, there's one called HP, and under HP, there's one called value. And if I click on that, hit right click, it copies it to the clipboard. I'm going to leave this open just for a second longer, and then I can just paste that in here. Now, I haven't actually tested it, but looking at the way it is here, I remove this hat. So now you can see we have attributes HP value. However, it shows this is a little notebook, and we don't like that necessarily. So let's go ahead and click on that little notebook. There we go. And we get this huge thing of icons. Let's just do a heart, HEART. And let's do maybe this one. That looks pretty good. Now let's say I don't want the passive perception anymore. I just want basically this and maybe movement. Let's do those three. So here's a heart. We'll just go ahead and make it pure red. And let's go add another one. So let's go get our movement. So so that we can always see what the movement settings are. So if we come in here, go down to, let's go ahead and close attributes. There is one in here. What is there? It actually might be under attributes. There is one here called movement. And what we can do is we can set whichever movement we want. And we want walking movement because that's usually what I do. Right click that. Now I can actually close this and close this because I don't need them anymore. I'm going to hit paste, Control V. And I'm going to get rid of the little at. And for movement, let's just go for a nice yellow color maybe. Let's go for the pure yellow, like so. And now let's get a nice icon. Maybe walk, WAL. There's a little walking man. And now we can hit save changes. And now you can see we actually have those. So we can leave them white. We can also change their color. So I just wanted to point that out really quick. And then let's go back. Oh, it's right there actually. Look at the next things. So I usually don't allow the players to use it. There's no real reason to, if you ask me. But you can if you want. pretty much, other than that, I leave everything as is. Usually the show, I think this one's usually disabled, and maybe this one, because I don't care if it shows the ones that are offline. That was where this guy turned purple. And then this is saying show actors even if they have no token on the current scene. So that means if I have players and they're on, even though they're not on the scene, it'll still show them. Other than that, we have our minimum player permission to have them be able to have them on there. I usually just leave that as owner, which is the default. You can choose whether it goes horizontally or horizontally this way or vertically this way. Whew, I'm batting 100 right now. Use token scaling, so we can do that. Hit save changes. And now you can see, why did we lose that guy? Oh, because we don't have a player for them. We turned off the show players. So if we come back here and it might have been the show offline act. No, not show offline. I think it's show actors. Let's see if that's it. No. Hold on, let me go look real quick. I think it was the show offline. Let's do that one. There we go. Yeah, because I don't actually have someone logged on as this player, they're not showing up. So that is one thing. If you have a whole bunch of people sharing a token, you will definitely want the show offline. Well, as the GM, I don't have the players have this. All right, so one thing that this gives you that I actually use another mod for, but it's also kind of handy to have here, is this little section right here. So we have players can move their token. This means no, they cannot move their token. And this means it's during combat and you can only move when it's your turn. There's a module that I actually use that kind of automates this more, called Not Your Turn, which it only automates between free move when you're not in combat to combat move when you're in combat, which is fine with me. I guess if you don't want to have the game paused so that they see this paused logo pop up, you can actually switch it to no movement, and then your players, if we go to our player screen, they can't move their tokens at all, and they don't see the pause, so they might get confused. So I don't use these guys, to be honest. But the ones that are really handy are these two right here. This first one is to do checks, like attribute checks, requesting roles for skill checks, all that fun stuff. And then the one below it is contested checks. So we're going to quickly just show you the contested checks. So I'm going to grab Kursk, not all of them. I'm going to grab Kursk and the ticking, does it say ticking or tricking? Ticking ghoul. Ticking, there we go. Yeah, ticking, not tickling. And we're going to create a thing here. So as you can see, this is showing our actors. We have the ticking ghoul versus Krusk. It is a strength check. Let's say this is more of something like an insight. You know, I'm doing deception. Let's say that instead this person is going to do insight against this person's deception. You know, they're trying to lie to him. They're trying to detect if it's true. So in here, I could say lie detector or something. Lie, DETECTOR, or something like that. This will just be a little description for it. You have your option of public role. Public role hidden results is, I believe that's the equivalent of player only. So the GM can see the role, I believe, and the player can see the role, but your other players don't see that role. Public role, everyone gets to see. Private role results hidden is basically the same as the blind role, and then GM only role is where only the GM gets to even see the little pop-up box. So as you can see here, we have that. Hide NPC names, I never really worry about that. I mean, usually I have names showing for everyone anyway. So you know, I don't care that they know this is the ticking ghoul. So if you click request with a roll, I never do that as well. It's automatically going to just roll everything. Part of the joys of D&D and TTRPGs is being able to roll the dice for yourself, whether it's manual or whether it is, you know, rolling in the game and you're just clicking a button to actually roll. So I usually just do request. And when we do that, I'm going to click there. You'll see that as the GM, I get this thing saying lie detector. It's a contested roll. It's going to be insight versus deception. It's not necessarily showing who it is. I set that up, so I should know. But we can see it's the ticking ghoul against Krusk. If we go look at the player view, we can see Krusk knows that he is doing this check, but as far as to who he's doing it again, he doesn't know. Once again, you can see lie detector. You can see who's making the request or requesting the rolls that it's contested. Once again, insight versus deception. Krusk can then come here, mouse over it, and you can use the shortcut keys that make it, you know, so that it instantly rolls this, that, the other. But let's go ahead and say that Krusk, you have the option here. We can say disadvantage or advantage. If we click on the little disadvantage, you can see it's automatically going to roll it. If I click the dice, it will pop up the screen saying that this is, you know, my roll. I want to do this. Let's go ahead. So just like this, we're going to go ahead and do a normal roll for him. So you can see in this case, Krusk actually is winning. If we go back over the player screen, this doesn't always show up. It does on the check skill checks and stuff. I wonder if I hit F5 real quick if it will show up. But it doesn't always seem to show up here. I mean, I can't actually see. Oh, actually, I know why. Never mind. I know why. I was expecting it, though, to actually show the little check. The reason it's not showing up is because it was blind. If we do that same thing, I'm pretty sure, and it's not blind. So if we come in here, let's do it just once more. I'm going to say, you lie. Something like that, I guess. Let's go ahead and make it public. We're going to try again and just see if this works the way I'm expecting. So as you can see, we have this. We're going to go ahead and say the ticking goal is going to do it. Krusk is going to do it just as a default role. And yeah, see, it's not blind anymore. So Krusk is going to go. And you can see it is doing it now. So that's why I was doing it. It was a blind roll. So anyway, there you go. That is the contested rolls, which is really handy. It gives you a really quick thing. You can actually type in commands and stuff that actually can do that, but this gives you a really quick way of doing that. So the last one down here I don't really use is for assigning XP. I don't really do that one myself. But let's go ahead and look at this one up here now. So if we come up here, we can see that this is all your other types of rolls. So let's say I wanted to do I'm just gonna grab these four because they're the party, and they're going to do a stealth check. One, as the GM, I'm like, yeah, this should be private. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it to private hidden so they don't know. I'm gonna set the DC on this to be, say, 17. I'm gonna not show them the DC. I don't want that. We're not gonna have it be perception. We're gonna go ahead and have it be stealth. And here you can actually see, you can see all the characters that are available for this. Let's say for whatever reason, Merrick is not gonna be included in this. I can just click that and remove him. Now I can go ahead. You'll also notice here that it's actually showing any tools that they might have in their inventory. If I didn't have everyone here, I don't know who has the thieves tools and who has the smith's tools, but if I didn't have someone that didn't have them, these two wouldn't show up. So let's go ahead and hit request. So now you can see we have 3 roles. If we go look over the player screen, they only have Krusk because that's the only player, as you can see right here, they own Krusk. So we're going to do a regular roll there. And you'll see they don't get to see their results, although they see it right there. So that's a little weird. Actually, they must have a -1 then. They do. So we can do those and those. Boom. Tiny little 8. That is so small. Was it both those 8? That was 11. That was 12. Never mind. They look like 8s to me. So as you can see, everybody failed. So we get these little X's on everything. The player, because they don't get to know, you'll see they just get this little line showing that, yes, you've done the roll. You don't get to know what you did. You know, so they don't know how stealthy they're being exactly. I don't think, because he would actually have disadvantage because of his heavy armor. So that's some stuff you actually have to remember for yourself. If we go look at his character sheet, we can see, does it say, actually, is he wearing heavy armor? I think he is. Chainmail. That gives disadvantage, right? Oh, it popped in there. Yeah, stealth disadvantage. So it didn't automatically do that. That's something that you know, keep track of. But like I said, it's a very handy to be able to just do rolls really quick like that. Also, as the GM, I can quickly just look at their AC instead of having to go to the combat tracker or whatever else. So there are some other options. We're at 21 minutes. Hopefully we should be done by 25. So there's some other options we can get with this. If we right click, we can actually do some different things. We can send a private message. We can exclude this token, which removes them. We can edit their character. We can edit their token. So this is to pull up the character sheet. If I click on that, you'll see pulls up the character sheet. If I do edit token, this pulls up the token configuration, which for me, it's way easier to simply double click on a guy to pull up their sheet, double right click on a guy to pull up the token. So I really don't use those. Exclude the token would remove it from here. Private message, obvious. So edit stats, we can edit the stats on a per token basis. So if we had something that we were tracking on him for whatever reason, maybe spell points, I don't know. You could actually do that just by doing stats just for this guy. So we could actually change them there. We can also add inspiration. So you can see that our little guy here, Merrick, he actually, where's inspiration? Has inspiration already. We can see here that Krusk, he does not have inspiration, but I can go in here and say, you know, they get inspiration. And then I can see that they gained inspiration. And in here now you can see they have inspiration. If I click it off there, it goes away there. It's kind of weird. You can't take away inspiration here, but it's not that big of a deal to go in here and just take it away there. Unless you guys know a better way of doing that. We have the target token, so this will actually target the token. So, you know, if I have this guy and I want to target him, I could do that way. Once again, hovering over, pressing T, much better for me. And then I can't untarget it. So if I hit T on him again, that goes away. I can also set them on an individual basis. So that, you know, only this guy is frozen. So if he's paralyzed or something like that, once again, things I don't really do. I can turn on or off their combat turn. I don't think it'll actually do it. Like if I say this, yeah, it says he's not in combat, but you'll see it gets a different little icon down here saying, hey, you're in combat. If I click on any of these, it resets it. Otherwise, I have to go manually set it in here, you know, say no movement. Now we get that. Go here and say free movement. And as long as, I believe as long as it's the main one, let's double check. Yeah, as long as it's the main one that's here, it doesn't actually do the icon. So now if we do free movement, you can see he has free movement while everyone else has no movement. Then if I do that, it goes back. So those are your options there. This video definitely went way better. If by chance you don't have anything populating here, apparently one of the first things you should do is simply take it and move it so that it refreshes, I guess, the widget or whatever you want to call it. I spent a good 5 minutes going, I know that it automatically adds them, but why is it not doing it? And I was thinking that maybe it was because they weren't in the party token and that somehow it detected that the party token was the party token. However, actually, I bet you can put the party token in there if I simply configure ownership to Tassie owner, maybe, and then put it on the sheet, and then wiggle it. No, never mind. I lied. It's always good to test things. I know I could swear in Pathfinder, I actually have one that shows the party token in there, which will include, some of these other stats if you want. So anyway, let's configure that ownership and just make it back to default. That is pretty much in a nutshell Monk's Tokenbar. I was going to say toolbar, but it's Tokenbar. Very handy. Two of the things I use it mostly for is for this right here that gives me the quick information. I mean, I have it here as well, but this just puts it in a place where I can constantly see it. If I want to shrink it, I can just simply shrink it like that. And also gives me these two options right here to do requesting a roll and to do contested rolls. So I think that will do for this episode. Went way better this time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Join my Discord channel. Tell other people about my YouTube channel. Have them check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. Everybody wins. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.